Hello everyone, I'm Magic Dave and this is Sapiens. So it is the 50th devlog. Somehow I've managed to record 50 of these things, but this one I thought might be a little bit different, a little bit more special because, I don't know, the timing felt right as well to do a bit of a let's play. So yeah, previously all my videos have been sort of what I've done in the past couple of weeks or whatever. But this one is going to be a full playthrough up until sort of where I'm at as far as the progress of sort of the technology tree and stuff goes. So let's just create a new world. I do want to just say before we get too far into it that there are many problems. There are many issues. This has still got at least a year of development to go. So yeah, let's just try to keep that in mind because yeah, I'm not going to explain every step of the way and make excuses for everything because that would be tedious. So just remember there are problems. If you see things, chances are I've already got it in mind and I'll fix it. So in the world creation screen, we've got a bunch of options. We can sort of modify the sea level and rainfall and temperature and things, and that influences sort of the things at a global scale and just sort of adds to the general kind of ambience. I do find that the continent scale, if I set that a bit smaller and increase the influence of these two things, it does make things a little bit more dynamic, but a little bit less realistic, I suppose. It looks a bit less Earth-like. But you know, I might make these defaults a bit more like this, just to make things a bit more interesting. But let's just go with this. This word looks fine. Mamalaso. Yeah, I'm using Tokipona for sort of all the generated world names. Like Tokipona is the language of Sapiens, and they even speak it now. So let's create that world. So there's a little bit of a loading time there. It's not too bad. The map can take a little bit of time to come up too. Let's have a look at what we've got. So these are all potential tribe starting locations. This area is still a bit sort of snowy for my liking, so I might just head south a bit. It is where it starts. You hear it's going to be spring time in the northern hemisphere. We can also sort of pick what time of day we want, depending on where we want to be. So yeah, this sort of where you start has a few implications. Also, the actual location of the tribe. If you picked a location that was sort of up in the mountains, then that's going to be a lot more difficult. So you've got sort of a difficulty selection for where you choose to be and how big your tribe is and things like that too. So that's sort of how all of that's working. Let's pick somewhere, I don't know, maybe we want a few mountains around just to make it look nice, but we don't want to be in the mountains, I think, for this Let's Play. That could be a bit challenging. This looks like an interesting spot. Okay, so we've only got 3 Sapiens there. That's the other thing that you can choose. So there's 3 women there, so you'd sort of have to you'd hope that a man passes by if you want your tribe to grow. There's basically potentially 2 couples. Sometimes you're going to have kids, or this one has a baby already. So that's 1 man, 3 women, 1 with a baby. You don't really know, it doesn't tell you what the story is. You sort of can make up your story and decide why they ended up in this state. The idea is that they're all basically nomadic tribes at this point. They're all hunter-gatherers, and you're trying to decide which band of hunter-gatherers you want to start with. So there's 4 boys in this one, which could be an interesting one to start with too. But I really like this location, and yeah, we can get more people into our tribe without having to actually create them. So I think I'm going to go for this right by the river here. Oh, the other thing, I guess, is you've got these traits, and they do have some impact. I'll probably make them have more impact in the future, but yeah, it's sort of what skills are going to be best suited to these Sapiens. You might want at least a reasonable spread of skills, but yeah, this will do for now. So let's lead this tribe, and we're going to zoom into this canyon here, and they're all sort of saying hello to each other. Actually, I can actually probably increase the render distance here. I've got a 2080 card, so we've got kind of the ability to render a few more trees than I'm normally able to render. So here we are. We're going to need to get some food sorted for them. If we just let them just wander around and don't interact at all, then they'll basically just carry on gathering food and just sort of survive. They might end up having a few children, but probably your tribe would die out within a generation or 2. So we don't want that to happen. We want to grow a tribe. We want a bustling sort of town full of Sapiens. We want them to have lots of kids, and we want to attract more Sapiens from other sort of wandering tribes. So that's sort of the goal that we have when we're playing the game. So I'm going to start by just finding perhaps a slightly more suitable location to sort of build my town. We've got some good fertile soil over there and over here with more trees, more fruit trees, and things will grow faster. Whereas over here, this is all kind of poor soil. These areas are more likely to have flint, so there's kind of some benefits to being in sort of mountainous or steep areas as well. But we don't really want to stay there. So I think our nearest nice soil is sort of over this way. Maybe we want to be over by the river here. Could be quite a nice spot in amongst the willows. So I think I'm just going to select them. We can multi-select and grab them all and tell them all to move over this way. So that's sort of the first thing we'll do. The other thing we're going to want to do is to build some storage areas. So that's probably the first sort of task, because we want to store a bit of food and just have somewhere for them to dump out stuff that they collect or find along the way. So we'll queue up those orders, and we'll also clear out a bit of terrain. So I've actually only just added this. It allows you to make it so that they will, when the grass grows back, they'll carry on clearing it. Otherwise, you'd be just hitting a clear command. So you can sort of toggle that on and off for any spot. They also move faster on cleared terrain, so that's another benefit to having this. And we'll get lots of hay that we can use to build beds and to build thatch housing with. So we'll queue all of that up. And we've got speed controls, so I can just hit 3 and that's sort of super fast forward, and we can not have to wait too long for them to come on this little journey here. So while they're walking over and doing all of that, we can have a look around and see what other sort of food we have for them. We might just get them to always pick apples from these trees. They're quite close. What else? We've got a few over here. We could probably queue up these two. We'll just select all of those and collect those two. So let's just slow it down again. They've started doing all of this stuff and see sort of how they're feeling. Con, after that long journey there, is extremely hungry. That was sort of a day walk from over there. So I'm going to just fast forward it again through the night. When you've got more Sapiens, you probably aren't going to be fast forwarding it so much, or if you're just starting out. But I don't want you guys to just sit watching the stars slowly go over. And this is probably a good opportunity to actually assign them some skills too. So each Sapien can be assigned a single focus, but they can have multiple skills. So they can sort of learn multiple things as they go along. So skills-wise, these ones with the stars are good for the traits. So she has courageous and focused. So focused in particular is kind of a broad trait that allows her to learn skills more easily. So they've kind of got stars next to them. Let me just slow that down again. So if I go to someone else, he's also got the focus trait, and he's fearful, so he doesn't have any stars. That's not a useful skill for anything. We need to assign these skills. So he can have any of these. Let's give him fire lighting, because we want to light a fire. Oh, we've just seen someone from another tribe. I might want to check them out. Let me just hit tab, and then I'll focus on Lucan. And so that shows, so he must have seen this guy. So he wants to join. His name's Pona. Sometimes there's a few people that come through. So they're probably sort of a mini tribe. That loud growling sound is these alpacas. I probably need to sort that out. I don't know if we want any more dudes. We've got 2 dudes and 1 woman so far. Maybe one. We don't really know anything about them. I might recruit him. There's definitely no women around. No. We need more women. Okay, so we'll recruit Pona, but as you can see, it actually has a yellow marker, and the reason is, if you look down the bottom, no Sapiens learning the required skills. So in order to do certain things, you need someone to actually be assigned that task or to have that skill. So he's got fire lighting. Con, we will assign leadership. She's courageous and focused. That's a good skill for her. So now that she's got the leadership skill, once she's finished this job here, she should probably go over and go and start recruiting them. So whatever the focus skill is, that'll get a priority when they're looking around for jobs to do. I should probably say like the whole system, the AI is not this sort of hive mind kind of thing. So it's not like a best fit thing like that you'd see in a real-time strategy or something. It's more that each individual sapien is looking around them, seeing objects within their field of view, and it's actually based on what they can see, what their needs are, and they make individual decisions. So if something needs to be done, then potentially two of them might go off and try to do it, but then one of them will see the other one's doing it and stop. That kind of thing happens, which is realistic. That it works quite well. So I don't think I mentioned also that they actually walk a lot faster when you clear the grass. They'll walk slower through this sort of long grass than they do on just dirt. So it is worthwhile doing that. I do plan to add more paths later and improve this UI, but for now, it's possible to create paths. So I'll just make a path out to these fruit trees so they can keep this cleared. It'll be a good source for hay, as well as making it faster to get out in this direction if they want to go that way. Now it's probably time to build some stuff. Let's build a fire to start with, because that's one of the things that does improve their mood and also gives them a place to kind of congregate and a place to later on cook meat. So that requires a few rocks just to be sort of a marker for the edge. There's plenty of rocks all lying around. Any of them can bring in rocks, but once the rocks are in place to actually bring the fuel and light the fire, they need that fire lighting skill to be assigned. So Tilo will be our firelighter, and we'll see him coming and lighting that shortly. So I might just speed that up a little bit. And Con is pregnant, so that's nice. We're gonna have a baby. We don't know. It could be that Pona was actually responsible for that. We're not really sure. I think we will be able to tell that later. The game knows, but we don't. So I guess we may never know. We'll see. And I guess I'm going to have a little progress indicator, but we can still see how far she's got. So she's at 93% of the leadership skill now, and it looks like she's now decided that she's too hungry to carry on. Those alpacas sound like farts when they're fast forwarded, I guess. But so she's grabbed an apple, and now she's having a bit of a rest because she's just a bit tired. When they're pregnant, they need a bit more rest and get tired a bit more easily. So that's to be expected. Alpacas. So how are we getting on with the fire? Okay, so Tilo, he's managed to build all the rocks for the fire. So now it's got a light order queued up. That was queued up automatically because it was completed. So in order to light it, he's going to need to bring some fuel. So they can bring branches, pine cones, logs, basically any kind of decent fuel for a campfire is fair game. And once they've got enough fuel there, he'll sit down and learn to light it. So in delivering the branches, he's actually getting some skill in the fire lighting thing, but that will need to get to 100% before he actually successfully lights the fire. Cool, so we'll speed it up through the night, and I think it might be time to build some beds. We've got all this hay lying around. We can actually use beds both as seats and as bedding. So I'll put them around the campfire like this, and then they can all sort of lie there. Hopefully we're going to have 4 sapiens shortly. In fact, we're going to have a baby as well. So we need a few beds. Maybe we'll put some over here with the idea that they might become be put in a house or something. You can actually make bunk beds too. As you can see, when you place something like this, you can drag it around, and at the moment you can drag it anywhere you like. But the idea will be that it needs to at least be touching something. So a little bit of work there. But if we wanted to, we could place in some branches and sort of set them up Let me just slow it down so I don't lose anything. Yes, set it up the way that we want, and create some bunk beds out of posts or whatever we want to do, and they are actually able to then use them. But I won't do that in this playthrough. So how's Tilo getting on? He's at 80%, so we're nearly there. And Lucan is building a bed for us. We haven't actually assigned any skill to him. Oh yeah, he's fearful. We could give him rock napping. So that's something that we're going to want to do soon enough. To do anything to do with sort of rock napping, spears and knives and stuff, we're going to need a crafting area. So if I build one of those, then we can get started with some of that. Let's put it here's fine. So we'll build that, and then we can assign things to be crafted. So silly. There we go. Silly means fire in Tokipona. So he's got a fire now, which is good. That's actually a crafting area in its own right. Currently, we can only cook chicken meat. Maybe we should do that. Have we seen any chickens? Oh, there's definitely some around. What's that? Whoa, these are loud. Okay, there's one chicken. There must be more. Where there's one, there's bound to be more. Oh, there's another one. A few more around here. Okay, so let's hunt some chickens and get some chicken meat. Hunt that, and we can actually we'll select all of them in the general area and hunt them all. So again, we don't have anyone learning the required skills. So to hunt chickens, we don't actually need any tools. They're just going to use rocks to hunt chickens. The alpacas, we do need spears as well, which we can craft over here, but that's a little bit later on. So let's get someone hunting chickens. Oh! I just saw Millie's just come and sat here. I hadn't even seen her, so Lucan's only just noticed her too. She must have snuck in. So let's get her to be recruited as well. So hopefully Con will come over and recruit her. Con is moving very, very slowly. She's very uncomfortable due to being pregnant and she wants a rest, but she's going to come over and sit and hopefully recruit. Was that Millie? Oh, cool. So Con's had a baby girl, so that's good. And she didn't actually manage to recruit that other guy. I thought she had, but she hadn't. She didn't quite get to enough leadership skill. She got to 93%, and that wasn't enough. And unfortunately, Mealy is leaving as well. So you sort of got to get onto it, and you've got to have someone already assigned to the leadership skill, ready to go. So anyway, I'm going to assign Lucan to basic throwing. I'll probably rename this to hunting actually, but he's going to hopefully go over and see they've all gone green now. So he's going to go find a little rock and start throwing it at chickens. So again, he's going to have to learn that skill. It's going to take him a bit of time. He's going to miss a whole lot to start with. And what's Tilo do? Tilo's getting some wood for the fire, which is good. So yeah, I think I might now start building a little bit of housing. We can probably put one over these beds here. That's what I was sort of thinking might be a good thing to do. Just put it there and move it across. Yeah, that'll do. So we've got that. So they'll begin bringing over sort of the hay and the branches in order to do that. I'm going to need to assign someone the thatch skill, and I guess maybe that could be Con, but I'm going to have to remember that if I want to recruit anyone else, then I need to change her back to leadership. The other thing that might be nice, now that we've got fire and we've got someone with the fire skill, we can now build torches, and that will provide a bit of extra light at night time. Currently not vital, but by the time this game is released, they're going to need light in order to be able to do work. So it's good to have one near the crafting area at least. So I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit. Another thing that I might do is actually make it so that we've got a little bit of food coming in the future. So all of this around us is rich soil because we sort of moved over here for exactly that. So everything should grow nice and quick. It's a good place to be. Let's put a few apple trees along here. Maybe 4. It will eat into our apple supply. Basically, they have to take one of these apples over and plant it. Currently there's no actual planting skill, but I will make it so there is too. So yeah, she's just building this torch, and even though she doesn't have the fire skill, which is interesting, that's alright. Who's that over there? Oh, Millie's back. Okay, so I'm going to actually reassign her to leadership again. Hopefully she might go over and, there we go, she's going to go and wave and wave and wave and try to, oh, she's walked past her. Yeah, some of the pathfinding still needs some work, but we could really do with a few more people in the tribe. Yeah, so that torch is lit. He must have lit it. Oh, Millie has joined our tribe. That's awesome. And she's also pregnant, so we're going to have, the tribe's going to grow relatively quickly. So yeah, at the moment, you might have noticed that only the men and the children actually talk at the moment because I haven't recorded any voices for the women. So we can make her, what did we have her on again? It was, she's got leadership. We could give her primitive thatch and she could work on building this house over here. She's taking that over there. So yeah, she can still work even though she's pregnant or carrying a baby. It's just she'll be a bit slower at various things and she can't carry as much. She won't be able to carry the really big logs and stuff. That's fine. Another thing that we can do is chop down trees to get logs and build more advanced structures. Currently, we've only got these thatch walls and things, but you will be able to build with wood, so that will be something that we can do relatively soon once I actually add that. But we can chop down trees already, so maybe I'll queue something up to be chopped. So that's an aspen tree. We'll get some aspen logs from it. You might have noticed, I don't know if this campfire, no, it's all birch. The trees do have different kinds of wood, and when you build, it'll use the wood that's available, so things can look quite different depending on where you are. Just something to note there. So we've really got no problems at the moment with their loyalty. So basically they need to be happy, and if their happiness gets into the negative, then their loyalty will start going down. So this all sort of builds up. Basically, if they're like starving to death, or if they're very, very uncomfortable because you haven't provided them beds for a long time, or things like this, eventually their happiness will be negative, and that would impact their loyalty until they actually decide to leave. So you want them to be loyal, you want them to be happy. That can be quite challenging. I've got a lot of balancing to do. I want it to be a challenge. If you want it to be a challenge, I'll probably have various difficulty settings. But at the moment it's all fairly easy. So in order to chop down that tree, we're going to need an axe. So let's craft an axe. We could craft with flint, however, no one yet knows how to nap rocks. So we'll just craft a simple stone hand axe. This is also, so we probably want to craft some spears and go hunt some alpacas in this Let's Play as well. So in order to do that, we're going to need stone spear heads, which are these, and also some spear shafts. So we're going to need wood carving tools and wood carving and all sorts. So we'll get onto that. Let's just craft up that wood, the hand axe to start with. And I'll fast forward again. So yeah, they're all sleeping around here. I've had some interesting things with those tribes that are coming through. They used to all just sleep on your beds and stuff and just steal all your food. There is such a thing as a food raid. So sometimes nomads will come through in the night and just grab all your food and run off. That's something that can happen, and I definitely want to explore that a lot more in the future. So this torch has gone out. We'll just set that to automate so that it will. I'll change that so it says keep lit or something like that probably. But yeah, with that set, then whenever it goes out, it will automatically queue up in order to light it. So it looks like this Let's Play is going to be a couple of videos long rather than just one. So we'll leave it there for now. That's the end of part 1, and we'll see you again soon for part 2. Until then, we'll see you next time.